We're going to be looking at Chief Jay Strongbow taking on Bulldog Don Kent in a shark cage match.
Now, Mark, this sounds very exciting.
A shark cage?
A shark cage, where the sharks try and get into.
Yeah, I've heard of a cage match, Pete.
Yeah.
But a shark cage match?
Yeah.
That sounds fucking exciting.
It's the sort of kit that we watched some Japanese wrestlers fight with a piranha, a big piranha tank. Tank. And
glass coffin.
I know where I'd get a glass coffin or a piranha. I could get one of them. Couldn't get a shark cage. I wouldn't know where to start.
Well, you might say, had this been a Florida promotion, they're probably just lying around everywhere, aren't they? You just go and get some bum.
Some bloke with a board.
Yeah, some guy with a little outboard. And you
One
go,
arm.
yeah, can I have that shark cage? You go, mate, you help your fucking self, man.
I'm just glad to get rid of it. Where's the boat down, if anything?
Yeah, I need to be able to ferry more drugs in this boat.
Nobody wants to get in my shark cage after 1989. What happened in 1989? I don't want to know.
Did the door keep springing open for no apparent reason?
Were you trying to close it with one single screwdriver? Yeah.
It is the only time that this match would ever be done. It took place in 1976 or 7. No one's quite sure online. Right. And I forgot to do proper deep research on it in Big Time Wrestling, which was based in Detroit and run by the Sheik, the original Sheik, who was the bloodletting madman. Flawed concept.
Flawed concept. These two men haven't really thought about what it is. What it's all about.
These two men, if you gave them the ring, they didn't really put on good matches. So what they do here is they go, you know what might be great? Let's limit you guys to almost zero, okay? You will be able to do punches, probably not kicks.
No, not
You'll
enough room.
be able to hug.
Pull each other's pants down.
And choke. Yeah. And you'll also be able to touch nips with your own nips almost constantly. Because what it is it's like the shark cage is like the skeleton of a cupboard.
Yes, yeah. It's like the framework of a cheap Amazon voiceover booth.
Isn't it? And the two guys in it are
the shits.
I mean, Chief Jay Strongbow. We're going to play a little game, Pete. It's called Native American or Native American.
Right.
Chief Jay Strongbow, native or native?
Native.
Yeah, native. He was an Italian-American called Joe Scarpa.
Joe Scarpa, that's cool.
It is. But he started in 47, and he'd had matches for the NWA Championship as Joe Scarpa over those years against Luthez and Buddy Rogers. It was only in 1970-something where he went to the Worldwide Wrestling Federation and he was repackaged as Chief Jay Strongbow. He was 42 years old at that point. And basically, they seem to have repackaged him as Native American under the basis of he had quite a prominent nose.
Right, okay.
I think there was the sense of going, that is a trait of Native Americans. Joe Scarpa has a big nose. Right. Therefore, it's not culturally insensitive to make him a Native American.
Right.
He became a huge star under that gimmick. He won the WWF tag team titles with another fake Native American, Billy White Wolf. He's better known as Sheikh Adnan Al-Kasi. He was an Iraqi. And so, again, they sort of went close enough. And he was perpetually Vince McMahon Sr.'s number 2 babyface in the promotion for a number of years. And by the mid-80s, by the time he was in his 50s, he retired from the ring and became a backstage agent to Vince McMahon. So he was responsible on the road for booking enhancement talent for TV tapings, and he set up a lot of the match finishes and was not liked by a lot of the wrestlers. He once gave Junkyard Dog a $5,000 fine for smoking a joint in a WWF arena. Honky Tonk Man used to say that he was such a sort of shitty bloke that if he knew a wrestler had their family coming to see them at a show, he would make sure that wrestler's match went on as late as possible so that they and their family, when they were going home, would get caught up in as much traffic as possible.
What a weird thing to do.
Isn't it? And Lanny Poffo said that Strongbow wouldn't tell him who his opponent was until right before the match. And that meant that Lanny had to write his poems like in about 2 minutes.
And Lanny needs all the help he can get. I can't remember last certain time I saw him wrestle.
The idea that you'd be working the WWF at that time and you'd be like, I must get this early because I know Lanny's got to write his poem. You'd just be like, I don't give a fuck what you do, mate. It's Randy Savage.
Oh no, I've had my opponent's
my opponent's name has been given to me late, but I'm sure my performance will be absolutely great. Yeah. You just use that we travel across the country.
Just write one for every opponent on the roster.
Write one where the name isn't the rhyme. Right? Have it come earlier.
Yeah.
And then there's no fucking problem, all right? Probably because of this thing with Lanny Poffo, Randy Savage loathed Jay Strongbow. He said he was a disgrace to the business and that he'd killed more young wrestlers' careers than drugs.
Wow.
Hunky Tonk Man, who's never one for holding back in an early shoot interview, he said if Jay Strongbow were dying right now, his throat closing, he needed something to drink, I wouldn't even shit in his mouth.
That's confusing. Well, why is he That's surely piss.
He doesn't need food.
He wants a drink, Honky, for crying out loud.
Delicious brown waste food.
That's pretty mean. Yeah, it's just fuck him.
So Jay Strongbow is having a match with a man called Don Kent.
Bulldog Don Kent.
Bulldog Don
That's
Kent.
right. Someone in the front row has a sign that says, go away, Bulldog, bow wow. Because it's quite grainy. It does look like it says bum dog.
And there's also a man who's not holding the sign, but he's behind it with the most audacious sheepskin coat I've ever seen in a wrestling context.
And it is worth saying, this match is absolutely bullshit.
Yeah.
It's so bad, but the crowd here like it. And in a funny way, you have to sort of say, it was right for that crowd at the time.
Yeah.
We can all look at it now and go, this is the worst thing ever. But the reality is that crowd enjoyed it on that night, so it was a massive success.
Yeah.
We're still talking about it now. That's what wrestling's about. Bulldog Don Kent, perfect example as well of what American wrestlers were for such a large portion of wrestling history. Basically, before television came along.
Yeah.
And people began going, what is
this?
Someone on one of our YouTube videos described Jerry Lawler as looking like an M&M with arms and legs, which is, well, Bulldog Don Kent had that build of just like those men who were just plugs.
Yeah.
They were just like beefy
Barrely men.
Cowmen. And they, do you want to have a guess how old he was in this match?
I'm going to go for 42.
35.
Wow.
I mean,
Dear
he
Lord.
looks every day of mid-60s. It didn't do you well back then, did it?
God.
He had started in 1956 and he had his sort of biggest career success as a member of the Fabulous Kangaroos tag team, who were an ultra-Australian tag team, and they were huge during the 50s and early 60s. That came to an end when his partner, Al Costello, he was had his hip shattered by a fan who threw a fire extinguisher over a balcony onto him.
Wow.
And it absolutely, that was it for the rest of his career. The fan was arrested. He served 15 days in jail and was fined $50 for damaging the fire extinguisher. What's really funny is you see him here, and by this point he's already been going for 20 odd years, and he would actually manage to make it through till about 1992 was his last match. He actually died in 1993 following a long battle with leukemia. You end with a topper, don't you? You end with a big laugh. This starts off with Strongbow just pushing the cage onto Don Kent while he's in the ropes, and Kent just bouncing back and forward. And the one thing that tells you sort of go, doesn't seem very heavy structure.
No, it looks relatively light. Not load-bearing.
They get into the cage, clearly the first time they've ever stepped foot into it. They didn't even check it beforehand, because the moment they get in there is it rocks back and forth when they both go in the same direction.
Yeah, so they've almost got to plant their feet so it doesn't do that.
They notice it very quickly, and then they have to shift the weight. And one of them is constantly like, I've got to get away from this guy, because if we go both on the same thing, this thing's going to topple.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's going to be a real problem, because we're not allowed to leave it. But if it falls over, there's every chance we're going to roll out.
Yeah,
right?
or I'll get my hand trapped.
Yes. Almost immediately, the door just swings open. It doesn't even do it fast. It just goes, I'm open. And the referee has to come back, and he just sort of presses his hands against it. What becomes really apparent is this door does not just like lock of its own accord.
No, and it's clearly been oiled, so it just flaps open at any given draft.
Well, the shark cage itself, it limits as well anything that you can do. So even Jay Strongbow, when he tries to do his tomahawk chop, he can't raise his hand up high enough to actually make it look good. He has to just do 1-inch punches.
It was never going to look good.
No, it really wasn't. They hit each other's head, but all the while they're doing this, they can't concentrate on doing anything good because they're having to concentrate very hard on not touching the door with an elbow because it will just swing open. So less than 2 minutes into the match, Don Kent's back just touches the door. It's open.
Yeah.
And all he had to do was just go, I'm out.
I'm out, yeah.
and you've won.
Yeah.
And so what you see him do there is he very much, as he feels it just go, he's like, I better get back in.
Get back in and start punching.
And then you've got that sort of thing of going, oh, this is like a 3-man match, where it's
the door.
Strongbow and Kent are fighting each other, but both having to like fight the door and help each other to not get too close to the door. The best bit really early on as well is Don Kent figures it out, and he puts his hand outside and grips the door with the next bar. So he's holding it shut,
holding it closed,
and he's making it look like he's trying to get out really hard. And the second Strongbow pulls him back, the door just slowly swings open. It's so bad. 3 minutes in, we cut to the dressing room, right? And there's an angle going on.
Yeah.
The big X over the top of everything as well.
So it's like offensive. It's a little bit like Jake the Snake against thingy. Like it's kind of too hot for telly.
The X didn't appear very often,
right?
But when it does, it was supposed to denote this is too extreme for television.
Right? Okay.
The problem with this is it is a bit of a bad viewing experience.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like it's clearly the vision mixing isn't quite there. Something the typewriter would type out.
77. It's difficult to like overlay graphics.
Yeah.
What's even better about it, of course, was you had Mark Lewin, who was the champion at the time, who'd been bust open after an attack by Don Kent, who hit him over the head with a chair. And he's being held back in the dressing room by the Islanders, who are better known as the Samoans, Afa and Sika. They actually talk in this, which is, you never see them talk before.
Okay.
Nice voices, lilting.
He's cut pretty bad. He's got a real deep cut in his forehead, and I think he need a doctor.
And Mark Lewin, occasionally, he goes between the struts of the X and you get a glimpse of his bloody face.
Yeah.
And I think that it was just part of that thing of wrestling of going, if we sort of go, we're not going to show you, but you sneak a glimpse at it, it will seem much more exciting than if you could just see it and get used to it. We cut back and Strongbow is on the floor of the cage, sitting down. Not really enough room for that.
It looks like he's getting sucked up. It looks like they're
in a
sucking each
phone
other up.
box.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, everyone in the first insert where they're in the dressing room, Bob Finnegan, who is interviewing the Samoans, he looks like he's been caught doing something. Then you go back to the guys in the Shaggies and they're sucking each other off. It's just cracking stuff. It really is wrestling.
The wonderful thing the commentator says when we cut back from the dressing room is they mention that the cage did tip over.
Yeah, they said the cage tipped over, but we don't see it. It never tips over again.
No, and he says,
rubbish.
It was uprighted by the weight of Kent and Strong. No fucking shit. I don't know what happened, but they must have had to get out to get it upright. The ref wouldn't have been able to pull it up, so they must have both had to step out gingerly.
No, they wouldn't even need to because their legs would go through the bars. So it would just be like, they'd just be wearing it.
Like a giant, long robot.
Like the Flintstones car. Dino's head goes out the roof, your feet go on the floor, there's nothing happening, it's just a cage.
They mentioned that Strongbow at this point was almost out, which suggests he fell out of it, doesn't it? It suggests he was grabbing on to not look like it's out. I mean, what a fucking disaster this might have been. I cannot tell you how much I want to see that little bit of footage of the two of them on their backs like turtles, crawling back into this thing and just go, oh, let's carry this on. Immediately after we return, Kent, he throws the door open, he gets a foot out and he gets pulled back in. And then seconds later, the door is just floating open again. They cannot keep it shut. There's a bit where the commentator says, now a screwdriver is placed into the hinge of the door. That was taken out immediately. And they have a second of the screwdriver in there, and then the screwdriver's just out again. The door's open.
Yeah, door's open.
Cut to another report that suggests the cage fell over again. And Mark Lewin is there shouting and screaming. We then go back to a commercial break, and then they come back, it fades back in. And again, we're told, once again, that screwdriver was taken out of the hinge.
So many distractions.
Because coming back after the break, the door is just wide open. No one's even trying to shut it anymore. Oh, just about anything goes in that cage, says the commentator.
Nothing goes in that cage.
Nothing goes in the cage.
Nothing
is going in the cage. I mean, it is just the worst professional wrestling contest of all time.
It's bad.
Even worse than that is we get a finish where there's interference.
There's a run-in for crying out loud. Kent gets some knuckles out of his pants at one point, and like we expect to focus on one thing, the finite space these two pugilists have to play with, and how badly put together and badly executed. It's not like you'd look at it
and go, it's going to be difficult for one of them to get out. I mean, it literally would have been take a step, and you're done. And look, people aren't going to go, oh, that killed the business when Jay Strongbow beat him. It's going to happen anyway. Mark Lewin comes out, he's got a sort of rope, he begins choking Don Kent through the thing. I just thought the referee must have been looking and thinking, could have done with that rope at the start, just to
would have been easier,
through the lock there. What's wonderful is as Strongbow goes to go out, he can't open the door. He can't open the door. He gets
the one time.
And it suddenly
cannot be opened.
I can't fucking open it. That door is the funniest door in wrestling history. It's got a sense of timing and mischief. It really is. Oh, it's magic. How is it a door has outperformed
both of these people,
genuine professional wrestlers? Oh my
in such
God.
and the whole presentation is just so fucking turbo tawdry. It just looks so grim.
As Jay Strongbow gets out as well, he doesn't just step out and punch the air. He crawls out.
He gets on his knees.
Like, where is your dignity?
Walks out on his knees.
I mean, after all of that, Pete, it was absolutely everything I want to see from professional wrestling.
Yeah.
There's no other art form where a piece of work that bad would be still available.
Chief Jay Strongbow now takes the lock off the door. Trying to push the door open. It's stuck. And through